for everybody who do not understand what personalization means you try to personalize your campaign according to your audience's preference, behavior, and needs. For example, if I want to reach out to doctors, then I need to write an email which is personalized to their needs. For example, if you're reaching out to CIOs, then you need to reach out to them based on their personalized needs. And when you are trying to reach out to CFO, you need to personalize based on their needs. So maybe CFO's focus is on finances, and CIO's focus is on IT, on how to optimize the IT. So different people, different companies, different contacts have different needs, right? And it's good to always personalize rather than generic. For example, if you create a generic email, hey, we are a security company, and we provide so security services, and you send a blanket email to CIOs and CFOs and CEOs and IT managers, right? Maybe IT manager will be able to relate to it a little bit, but most of the other people will not be able to relate to it. Like, how will CFO know all the technical jargons and all the technicalities of what your security services is? Maybe your IT manager will understand a little bit. So if you are not personalizing your campaign, your outreach, then many of the messages will hit the wall and come to dead ears, right? So that's why it's very important to do personalization. And traditionally, the traditional marketing automation tool, the email marketing tool, and an outreach tool, and the CRMs, they used to provide some level of personalization. We all are aware of. For example, hi, first name, your company needs this service. You can put up some quote unquotes and put some variables in those campaigns, and the same goes with the ad. And then you can personalize to a certain extent. Okay, but that personalization was manual, it was cumbersome. A lot of I know companies used to put up an entire VA, virtual assistant team, just to add those information. Hey, you know what? Their LinkedIn profile, their last post, the last college that they passed out from. So all of this stuff used to happen manually, and many of the companies that I have worked with, they used to employ a large scale virtual assistant and people who used to just update the information so that we can do the personalization on the outreaches. But you don't need to do that anymore. Okay. Now with AI, you can truly personalize at scale. So you can train the AI saying that, hey, you know what? Based on whatever the contact that you're going to send the email next, go find the contact information in the CRM. And if you don't find a lot of information in the CRM, call some of the APIs, okay, like LinkedIn API and all of that. Find out all the information, process it, right? Then based on that information, personalize the email, update the email, right? And then, send the email to or a LinkedIn message or a WhatsApp message, whatever, to that particular individual. Totally possible, right? So now the possibilities are endless, and the personalization can truly be done at scale without too much of human manual work. Okay, so AI applies learning instantly, no waiting for manual adjustment, adapts in real time by industry, role, buying stage, behavior, so many other data points. And you can create a workflow in a sense that you can just get those information in real time, feed it to AI, let the AI decide on that, and then take the next action. Something that we cannot do it in manual. It will be too cumbersome to do it manually. So campaigns evolve as buyers engage, ensuring relevance at every touch point. So AI can even learn whether they are opening the email, replying to the email, visiting your website, checking your LinkedIn profile. All of that data points can be collected, and AI can get those data points in real time. Of course, you have to do that integration, but AI can take those decisions as well. And then it moves from static segmentation to live adaptive personalization. So you don't have to just segment out, fine, this segment is for Finance, this segment is for sales. No, AI is much more dynamic, and you don't have to do static segmentation. In fact, AI can go to a level of segmentation as to one person, right? So if you have 10,000 records in your contact and you need to reach out to all 10,000 of them, AI has the power and the potential and the capability to personalize things based on each and every person within that particular contact list. That's the power we are talking about. All right. Now, there's a little asterisk here, conditions that it's not just AI which will do that. You need a lot of different systems, automations, tools, all needs to work together as a system for this to work. AI will not send an email for you. AI will take a decision, but you still need a email sender, to send an email or a WhatsApp message or whatever it is. So all the system needs to be there. The data needs to be there. The data needs to be continuously enriched, right? So what we are talking about when we explain all those things and we use AI, the context here is that the AI is not independently working. It's working with your systems, working with your data, and then optimizing the entire system uh, at scale. We were talking about, hey, how to do personalization, how to create intelligent workflows, and how to do A/B testing. AI can only take decisions, right? AI can only take decisions and put those decisions back. Okay, it is the workflows which will actually run the task. Okay, so the workflow will call the AI. Then the AI will give the inputs and output. Then it will come back to the workflow, and then based on that input and output, the workflow will. So the workflow is a system, right? It can be dynamic, it can be intelligent, but it is a system, right? So orchestration or automation becomes even more important than what it was 5 years back or 10 years back, right? And this is where tools like Clay and the N8Ns have become so powerful. And the reason why tools like Clay and N8N, which is automation tool, has become so powerful is because it's built in the era of AI. Traditional tools like HubSpot and Salesforce were built in the era of traditional legacy softwares. So they created workflows which basically, handled the legacy method of doing things, right? Which was manual. But the N8N and the Clay is built in such a way that you can, create those workflows quickly, efficiently, changing a lot of things, and it's much more manual and it's much more agile in terms of the execution, right? As compared to traditional softwares. Having said that, both Salesforce and HubSpot are coming with their own intelligent AI agents and automation. So I think they are catching up very soon. But this need for intelligent automation is what powered, companies like Clay and N8N to grow so fast in the last couple of years, right? So when it comes to connecting the fragmented tools, platforms like N8N and Clay becomes very, very important. So Clay or N8N, for that matter, can call the API, the ChatGPT API, feed the information that based on that, take the decisions, then go ahead and call the CRM, enrich the data, then call the API again, the AI, the ChatGPT API, then take some more information, okay, and then based on that, it will call up say Lovable and create a landing page, right, and update the content on top of that. And also at the same time, it will go ahead and create the content for an email, call up the API for a tool like HubSpot or a Smart Lead or a reply.io, and then send an email to that particular prospect. So this kind of power is now available with systems like Clay and N8N, right? So that fragility, that agility, not fragility, I'm sorry, the agility was required, and these platforms are filling up the gap. And that's the reason behind Clay and N8N, just growing crazy, becoming like $1 billion company overnight. So build complex integrations without code. So they are also they are low code and no code. So N8N is a low code system. Clay is a no code system. So you can build complex integrations and pipelines without code or very limited code. very fast, and it empowered marketers to be technologists or engineers. So that's where the GTM engineering came into the picture, right? So GTM stands for go to market, and engineering stands for engineering, right? So the tech and the go to market came together thanks to platforms like this, and now marketers have turned into technologists. Obviously, I still feel that the engineers are required to a large extent. I'm an engineer myself, so I sincerely I've been on both sides of the equation, the marketing side and the engineering side. There are some marketers who can do both, and there are some engineers who can do both. But I sincerely feel going forward, the engineers will still be required in large scale for these use cases in terms of automation in action. Okay, so for any workflow to work, there are certain criteria, right? The first is, of course, a trigger. The second is the steps, right? So trigger happens, and then there are certain steps. The execution happens, and then there is an end of the workflow, right? So uh, one of the automation can be, hey, high intent search on third-party platform, like G2, for example. Call up the API or the information that is coming up, see what's going on in that particular thing. And if somebody visits the G2 profile based on that action, okay, you can get the company level information from G2 itself if you have the integration, and then analyze the company, find those decision makers within working in those companies, okay, and then send a sales alert to your business development team that somebody from this company has visited your G2 profile and checked your company's profile. So you can send a sales alert, okay, personalize the email, based on the company type and the nature and the industry and the location. You can personalize it, find the right decision makers working by in that company by calling up the Zoom infos and the Apollo APIs. Find the people, verify their email in real time, verify their phone number if needed, and then go ahead and send a LinkedIn message or an email in real time. That's the kind of power we are talking about. And we are already building this kind of application for our customers. It's totally doable, and it's changing everything. This is something that is not possible in traditional CRM. I mean, it is possible with a lot of effort. It is possible. It's just too much of work, right? But now with this, totally possible.